Hello everybody, how are you doing? Okay, welcome to a road called Sunbrow in Haslemere. And I've come here today because I've got to run some more streets in Haslemere. More importantly, I've got to do 10 more miles, to do the most amount of miles I've done on Strava in a year. Not quite the most amount I've done in a year, because in 2004, which was the first year I started with a Garmin Forerunner 201, I'll put a picture up there somewhere, I've still got it somewhere. And I did 2,800 miles-ish in that year, put the exact figure up there. This year, I've just done over 2,500 miles. In 2013, that was my highest number on Strava, just over 2,500, a bit more than that. So 10 more miles around here, I've done about 2 already. Typically, I've left it rather late, so I've got my head torch with me just in case I need to finish this off. This is one of the highest places, I think, in Haslemere. Such a hilly place, Haslemere, so you can't really go for an easy run here because you're always going up and down the hill. So I thought I'd do a little tour around. This is a bit of a dead-end road, so going back down this way, capture a few more roads. So I'll stop here if I can see anything interesting. And yeah, so we've just deciding on the targets for 2022. I had entered Boston and I've been accepted short of paying, but I think getting there is going to be really difficult. So I'm thinking of diverting to Manchester, which is 2 weeks earlier, on the 3rd of April. So I've sort of been training for marathons already because I've been doing about 70 miles a week for the last month. And well, it will be if I get round it again. So I think that may be my sort of like better plan, because obviously it's a trip to Manchester somewhat easier than getting a trip to Boston, and somewhat cheaper as well, but we shall see. Anyway, let's get running on a bit and we'll check in later. Okay, we're coming down quite a little lane now called Bell Lane something. Bell, I have to look up the exact word. Nice little stream down by the side of me here. Anyway, so about 3 miles into this run. It's starting to get dark, but I think we're a good 45 minutes yet before I need the head torch. So I get most of this 10-mile run done. Yeah, so how was this year for me? Well, I basically started off the year recovering from the calf tear I had in my right leg in the 1500 race last September, and by the new year I was kind of building up my mileage quite well and started to do sort of 5k training. I was working with Matt Rees, the Welsh runner, for a bit, which is good, and we were doing so about 50 miles a week, one sort of marathon pace tempo effort, which for me is about 6:50, 6:45 for about an hour, and also some 5k intervals, like 3-minute intervals with a minute rest. So yeah, good sustained running, but nothing too fast, although we did do a few hill reps. We've got a runner coming the other way. That's something. Hi mate. It's interesting when I said hello, you put your head down. Not sure that was, don't recognise him. Anyway, this is a nice sort of lane. Not been up there some before. Yeah, so occasional hill reps, and then had a few 5Ks early season. Did about 18, what did I do? 18:37, I think. Or was it 6 at Hardingley, which is okay. Went off a bit quick. A few track races, which were probably worse. Did a 3,000, which was terrible. Didn't really feel that great that day. And then a few sort of 15s, which weekly not so good either. And then I started the season quite slowly. Didn't think I was going to be able to break 5 minutes even. But I eventually got to 5 minutes. Did a 4:56, which was my fastest time since 2016. That was good. A couple more 5,000s in the summer. Best was 18:26, which is good, but I was hoping for a bit near 18, to be honest. I've had to be honest, so that was a bit disappointing. And then went into a few more 15s and ran off the season with a few 8s, and they're all about 2:24 the 8s. I think I did 2:24s and 1 2:25, so consistent, but it wasn't the 2:18 that I had last year. And then I had this place in the London Marathon, so I thought, oh, may as well give it a go. So I did one sort of emergency 20-mile run in Portugal when it was baking hot, and somehow I got around London in 3:09, which, looking back, was not a bad effort considering I haven't been doing any sort of long runs. Oh, I think I'm going the wrong way now. Burwood Farmhouse. I think I should be going that way. What was I saying? Yeah, so I think the London Marathon was a sort of damage limitation. I deliberately decided not to go for a sub 3 and tuned into about sort of 7:10 pace, which gave me a 3:9, and that was a good for age place for London coming up. But I decided I'd rather do a spring marathon this time, so I didn't actually enter in the end. Maybe I should have done, but the problem was with entering London in the autumn, there wasn't any good for age places for the next one, so it was kind of like almost like a run without any real sort of incentive. So yeah, after the marathon I thought, well, what do I need to do? I think my limitation was the sort of endurance, so I sort of set on a course of running basically sort of consistently, but sort of aerobically, not really doing too many sessions at all, maybe the odd Strava blast here and there, nothing too difficult. And then I was also preparing for my 55th birthday 55k. I'd done 50k or 32 miles as it turned out on my 50th 5 years ago, so I thought, well, how many more chances do I get to do this? On my 54th birthday I was recovering from the calf tear and did 5.4k, so this year it was great to run. We did 55k, I think in the end I did 35 miles, which was like 56k, but Stephen Cousins, Mike Boucher and Phil York came along to run with me. Stephen did the whole thing and the other two did quite a substantial chunk of it, and also had my wife Sue manning the drink stations and the gels, and we did a loop course from Stockbridge, so that was great fun. There's a video on that I'll link up below. And yeah, so ever since then I've been basically just sort of sucking up the miles. I think I've averaged about 70 for the last few months of the year, and then I sort of saw if I had 10 miles a day for about the last 2 weeks I could get past this 2013 score, and well, if I get back home today then I should do it. So I think we need to go, there's two paths here, I'm not sure if we're going that way or that way. I think it might be the one on the left, but yeah, rather remote here. Yeah, I think it's the one on the left. And yeah, so I hope you're having a good break and a good new year. What are your targets for 2022? I also think with the marathon training, you can sort of then got the base to work on anything. So often I found in the past when I was marathon training, all my sort of shorter distances from 5k upwards were good. Maybe not the 8 and 15. I think you need to do more specialist work for that. But these days, I'm really wary of like overdoing it on the fast stuff. I'm now 55 and I can't train like I was 25. And so all this sort of like, you know, constant VO2 max sessions, keep going to the well, doesn't really work. And I think, you know, it's a slower progress doing the steady miles, but it's almost been more enjoyable in a way. I think after a while, I actually quite like getting out for runs like this, exploring new areas. That's why I do these city strides things. It gives me motivation on my easy days to go sort of like strive for new targets or just run in different places. So just jump in the car for, you know, up to half an hour. I don't have to go too far because there's so many roads around, and see what we can see. And it's wonderful out here, really in the middle of nowhere. Somebody actually lives there, so turn around. Right, so I think I'll go up this path and see how many streets we can get in before it gets dark. As I said, it's hilly in Haslemere, and this is muddy as well, but the Endorphin Speeds emergency trail shoes. Dry so far. So we've actually made it to the top here. I think I've come so far, we've actually come to a road called Scotland Lane, or very near that. We're actually still in England, of course, but a bit of a joke that Scotland is some way 500 miles north, and here we are down south. Right, let's get going. So I hope you found this interesting, and look forward to seeing the next one then. Like and subscribe on all that, and bye!